Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and beyond. This week, the president wrapped up a trip to Panama, and while there, he held a historic meeting with President Raul Castro of Cuba. Later that week, he grooved with gospel artists, held a town hall about working families.
I'll be like Phil Donahue.
And kicked off a Wounded Warrior Soldier Ride at the White House.
There's a homeboy right here.
That's April 10th to April 16th, or the Quintessential Sounds. On Friday, the president was in Panama. That morning, he stopped by the Panama Canal before participating in the 7th Summit of the Americas. The summit began with the signing of a trade deal between Boeing and Copa Airlines.
12,000 jobs in the United States is Castro.
Later, the president joined fellow world leaders at a meeting of SICA, which includes the leaders of the countries of Central America. Later that day, the president sat down for a discussion on economic development, education, and governance at the CEO Summit of the Americas. Later, the president spoke at a civil society forum.
When the United States sees space closing for civil society, we will work to open it. When efforts are made to wall you off from the world, we'll try to connect you with each other. When you're silenced, we'll try to speak out alongside you. And when you're suppressed, we want to help strengthen you.
On Summit Saturday, the president held a series of meetings, first with the leaders of the 35 member states, then one-on-ones with the Prime Minister of Canada, the presidents of Brazil, Colombia, and Cuba. The historic meeting between President Castro and President Obama served as the next step in normalizing relations between our two countries.
I think if we can build on this spirit of mutual respect and candidness, that over time we will see not just a transformation in the relationship between our two countries, but a positive impact throughout the hemisphere and the world.
On Monday, the President and Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack met with 8 members of the National 4-H community in the Oval Office.
And you are from what state?
Alaska.
Alaska. You came a long way. Come on in.
There, they got to hear about the efforts to open doors of opportunity for kids all across rural America.
With our club, we donated 1,000 pounds of vegetables and garden produce that we just grow in our garden.
I recently realized how much poverty we have in my village. We only have one store, and most of the things on the shelves are expired. So 4-H is going through our school, and we're going to make a garden for the community this spring.
That's great.
In the afternoon, the president conducted a round of television interviews with anchors from Columbus, Harrisburg, Madison, Portland, and Sioux Falls, all to talk about middle-class economics.
People like me who don't need tax breaks are getting tax breaks. And ordinary folks end up paying more to pay for it. And that's just not fair. And it's also not, by the way, how we grow our economy.
On Tuesday morning, the president met with Iraqi Prime Minister Abadi.
We are committing an additional $200 million in humanitarian aid to help stabilize communities and to help those who've been displaced from their homes, have lost their jobs, have seen their property destroyed.
Throughout the day, the White House was buzzing with the sounds of gospel as rehearsals were underway for a concert that evening. Between rehearsals, the stars participated in a workshop with students from across the country who were interested in the music industry. That evening, it was showtime. The White House was transformed into a vibrant and joyous concert hall as legendary artists paid tribute to gospel music.
Gospel music has evolved over time, but its heart stays true. It still has an unmatched power to strike the deepest chord in all of us.
On Wednesday morning, the president met with the presidents of Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, continuing their efforts to get to 0 Ebola cases. The leaders discussed long-term strategies to prevent future epidemics. Then the president headed south to one of the fastest-growing cities in America, Charlotte, North Carolina, for a town hall meeting hosted by Blog Her and She Knows. On Thursday, the president marked the 8th annual Wounded Warrior Project Soldier Ride. The cycling event celebrates our wounded warriors, raises awareness of the physical and psychological damages of war, and honors the courage and resilience of America's veterans.
Warrior one, I got my warrior one. All right. Yeah. True. It's not quite as good as yours. Warrior 2.
Then, the president hosted a meeting with champions of change. These are advocates from across America who are leading the charge for paid family leave, equal pay, fighting pregnancy discrimination, and other issues that are critically important to working families.
We shouldn't have to choose between rewarding work and raising a family. And we got to fight for that change. These champions of change have made a difference in this area.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, you can find out more information about any of these topics and see complete videos of these events at whitehouse.gov. So thanks so much for checking out this special Spring Has Sprung edition of your West Wing Week.